Good evening, good evening, good evening. This is Paul Posey, and welcome to the Negative to Positive Show. I am so excited. I'm frozen. I'm frozen because what I did was I made my dream come true. I had a vision probably about a year and a half ago that I wanted to be on a show. I wanted to talk to people. I wanted to share. And it all started back in 2010. So I'm going to tell you what negative to positive mean and where it came from. I like to say N2P, but negative to positive. I see some people out there. Let me say hello before I even get started. Hey, Miss Randall. Hey, Amy. Hey, share. Let's make this big, okay? So I'm going to try to get right into it. So the negative to positive comes from when I left the Marine Corps and I decided that my life was going to change. All the things that I went through, all the bad decisions I made, and all the great decisions I made, all the decisions I made for my personal life and my military life, it was all changing in 2010. So I decided to go and get me a sports car. That's what I did. I mean, that's what everybody does when they retire, right? And I got this car, and I said, I'm going to have this special name for this car. And I got this plate, right? And hey, Tammy. Hey, Robin. What's going on, Greg? And I got this name for the plate on the car, and it says negative to positive because my life was changing. But it didn't stop there. So I was working at a job with a guy who made T-shirts, and I was like, hey, you know what? That looked great on a T-shirt. So I asked this guy to make some T-shirts. He made 35 T-shirts for me, right? In all different sizes. But I was like, wow, this is going somewhere. And what I would do was, if I met somebody and I really enjoyed the conversation and they were part of my life, I would give them one of those T-shirts because I wanted them to feel the same way that I felt, from negative to positive. Didn't stop there. So I began college in 2011, and I graduated in 2014 in business administration. So one of the things we had to do was we had to create a business. Hey, Anthony, what's going on? Angela, hi, everybody. Please stay tuned because we're just getting warmed up here. So what we're going to do, what I did was I had to come up with a business. And by this time, I'm living in the house by myself, and I felt like I still had something to give. And what I did was I created in a business plan a youth program called Negative to Positive Incorporated. I have a nonprofit right now. And with the nonprofit is to help young men and veterans to understand their worth and how to move forward. But that was just in the planning stage. So in 2015, I met a man by the name of Melvin Morris, one of my mentors, and he told me, you can go ahead and make that real. And I did. I filed for my 501c3. Shortly after that, I don't know if it was my calling or my life, that I resigned from the VA after working there for about almost 3 years, and I poured into that thought I had back in 2010, which is negative to positive. And it means a lot to me because we have opportunities every day to take something we think is bad in our life and make it a positive. And I think it's what we're supposed to do. Unfortunately, we've turned that into our norm. We tend to think that everything we do has to sponge from the idea of something bad happening to us, and now we want to do something great. But I don't want that to happen. I don't want people to think that's our norm. We're going to create a new norm here with negative to positive TV. So let me say hello to some people. Hey, Zena. What's up, Roderick? Joe. Sharon. I hope you guys are sharing this with everybody. Is that one of my daughters right there? Hey, Andrene. I know you're going to call in, right? All right. So that's the origin. That's where it came from. And it's at the ground roots of everything I'm going to do probably for the next 10 years. And that's when I'm really going to stop working. I'm retired now, but I plan on stop working by the time I'm 60. So my life had been changing, and the awareness of where we are as family kicked in. I understood by the time 2016, I was definitely suffering from PTSD, and I was definitely didn't have my head on right, and I definitely felt like I was alienated from my family in my own psychosis. Nothing they've done. And those are things that I had to work through to move forward, is to make sure that, one, I got myself together, then pay attention to my family. Okay, we have a caller. Let's see who it, Welcome to the Negative to Positive Show. This is Paul.
Hi, Mr. Posey. How are you doing?
This is, hey, Andrene, this is daughter number 2. Thank you for calling.
I was just watching the show. I had to call in. I just wanted to say how proud I am to be able to witness, your change and your growth and how it's become infectious and becoming an entire movement.
Hey, thank you. It's too early for me to cry. I was going to cry in the last 10 minutes. But
no.
Yeah, man.
Don't wear your mascara.
I do. But you're right. I do this not for me, but for everybody, and you guys are included too. So it means a lot to me that you called. I love you.
Love you too, Dad.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay. Okay, where was I? I was interrupted by my daughter. Thank you. And I've got 5 daughters, and I expect all 5 of them to call tonight. So if you don't call me, I will call you out on the air. So which one of y'all gonna call next? So, hey, Frankie. Frank, what's going on? Mark, good friend from way back. Good evening, Jermaine. Shante. Span, what's going on? Hey, can you guys just go ahead and click like and actually ask your friends to join in, because this is the beginning of my first show, and I'm going to share why I'm doing this show and the things I'm going to cover probably for the next 3 years when I'm going to be here. So if anything you want me to talk about that's going to go down to the ground roots, I'm not a shallow talker. As a matter of fact, I want to thank my family for having those conversations with me. Because in my awakeness to find out who I am and where I'm supposed to be in their life, they had to have some rough conversations with me. Hold on, we got another caller. Hey, this is Negative to Positive Show. This is Paul Posey. Hello? Hello? I can't believe the bill collectors called me here. All right, hold on now. So, family. As we've been paying attention lately in the news and inside our culture, our families are decimated. They're divided. And what I would like to be as a part of that movement, as my daughter said, to try to get people to come back together. Negative to Positive Show, Paul Posey.
Paul, congratulations on your show.
Thanks. Who's this?
Jermaine Moody.
Hey, thanks, Jermaine. How are you?
I'm excited for you, sir. I just saw you on Facebook. Congratulations, man.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm trying, and I'm glad to be working with you too, Jermaine.
You're doing big things.
We are.
Big things.
We're going to do it together.
Great things. Super congratulations. I just wanted to call in and tell you that.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. All right. Have a great show.
Thanks. All right. See, that was Jermaine Moody. I tell you, networking is the spice of life. I just happened to meet that man. I know we're going to do great things together. So, family. So understand where we are with as family right now. They're so divided, and the movement should be family unity, and we should work on that consistently every day. And I think sometimes when people say words like family unity, be a great dad or be a great mom, they're not telling you the pieces that make those things happen. So that's what we're going to talk about here on Negative to Positive. Not only are we going to give you a label, but we're going to break it down to the nucleus so we all can be on the same page someday, because we are taking a beating in family unity. So let me say hello to, hey, Franda, I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you call in. Matter of fact, Franda, you're going to be on my show. Frank, good to see you. Let's see who else left. Hey, David, appreciate you logging in, man. I really do. Thanks. I ain't got my glasses on, but I can see a couple of names. So let me keep going, okay? Hold on a second. Uh-oh, sorry, I accidentally hung up on you. I'm new at this. This is a Negative Positive Show. Go ahead and call back. Sorry about that. Hey, if you're looking for perfection, it's not here. Perfection is not here. So what I was talking about, the next level is to talk to dads, because there's another thing I've been paying attention to is our role as dads and what's been missing and how we can come together as men and talk about men things. Hold on a second. We have another call. They done called and hung up on me. They said something. All right. So what I would like to do is talk to dads about those issues that keep us divided. Next caller. Negative to Positive Show. This is Paul Posey.
Hi, Paul. I just want to say congratulations. It's Amy.
Hey, Amy. Thank you so much for calling. And you're going to be here one day, right?
Such an inspiration. You're such an inspiration, and you're such a motivator. And I couldn't be more happy for you. You are so deserving of this. Well,
thank you. Thank you so much. And you're going to come and be on the show one day?
Yes, I am, and I did not mean to interrupt this important thing. So I'm gonna cut it short so you can continue talking and doing your thing.
Okay, thank you, Amy.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes, I want you to call in. I want you to call in and interrupt me talking, because I can talk forever if anybody's spoken to me. Hey, Pat, how you doing? Thanks for logging in. Gerald, hey, make sure you share this, because I'm going to be talking about great things, and we're going to do this time and time again about things that are important to us. And right now, the push is family. So back when I was talking about men, we're going to talk about some things that I know we don't want to talk about or even hurt to talk about, but it's not for us. It's not for us, men. It's for everybody else around us. And once we start taking our place to being the men that we can be, that people want us to be, then we will change this. We'll change the direction of our culture. There's no doubt about it. But we have to talk about it, and we have to talk to each other. There's no shame in growth. There's no shame. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? So, next on my agenda would be to talk to the children, because they are our tomorrow. They are our solutions to this problem that we have. Because whatever we learn right now, we pour into them, they will institute it as the new norm. And that's what we need. We need a new norm. Because we accepted what society has said to us. And society doesn't say all the right things. It just shows us trends and things we could be doing. But rarely does it hit what we should be doing. So that's why Negative to Positive Show is here. So I'm going to have people on my show that's going to talk about those things. People who are in those lanes that are sharing information that help us grow. So I'm still waiting on my other 4 daughters to call me. So you know who you are. Don't make me call you out. So next on my list of things is my veterans. I was in the Marine Corps for 23 years. I've met a lot of great friends. I know some of them on my timeline, like Paul Garbout, Aaron Van Ostrin, Aaron LeBoy, Brian Hampton. Those are people that are part of my career. Angel Guzman. It's a part of life that we go through that most people don't understand. And right now, part of my job, I volunteer to help veterans to either find a place to live, find funds, or help with their VA claims. So what I am going to do is I'm going to have some people here. Hold on just a second. Negative to Positive Show, this is Paul Posey.
Mr. Posey.
Yes.
How are you? What's your favorite daughter?
Hey, Niecy, how are you? There we go. Now we got 2, right?
Yeah, I wanted to start it off. Yes, I sure did.
Okay.
I am so proud of you. You look amazing. I cannot wait to be a part of your show.
Right, because I was just telling the engineer you're going to be my first guest on the show.
Yes, sir. I will be there.
Absolutely. So on November 21st, we will be here with my daughter, Janicia. All right?
Yes, sir.
Is Javon there with you? That's my grandson.
No, he isn't.
Okay, make sure he sees the show, okay?
For sure. I love you.
I love you too. Talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
So, they're not gonna make me cry. They're not gonna make me cry. But so talking about the veterans, right? Veterans go through so much when people aren't paying attention to them or they're victimizing them. And some of the veterans do victimize themselves. But it is going to be my job to volunteer to make sure that I can help as many veterans as possible, especially with their claims. So, hey, Latoya, how you doing? Paul Bogart from way back. Thanks for joining in. Please share it. Please let everybody know that Paul Posey has a show called Negative to Positive Show. It's going to be about everything I could talk about. So I remember Jack asking me, I can say your name, right, Jack? Jack said, what are you going to talk about? I was like, everything. You got to talk about everything. The reason you talk about everything because I'm 51 years old. I'm the master of mistakes. I've done a lot of things. I've seen a lot of things. And some things people don't see that they should hear about. And there's some things people don't want to hear about. You got to tell them anyway. That is the purpose of the Negative to Positive Show. So I want to give a shout out to my mentor, Melvin Morris, Jerome Lynch, and Mario Peters. They don't even know each other, but I am connected to each one of them to get something that I need to help me grow. And that's one of the purposes of Negative to Positive Incorporated, is to generate a mentoring program for those who don't have mentors. You know, a mentor, whether it's male or female, is that person that's been there, done that, and they're willing to share it with you. Just like in writing books. For those who don't know, I've written, I have a total of 12 books now. And this is my book on Be Undumpable, and that's a relationship book. And this is I Am My Own Dad. And I Am My Own Dad is a special book because it tells you my story about how it was for me to grow up. And it also talks about being a dad. And that's the most important part right there. It's not my story is the most important part. That's to grab you. And if you read the book, you'll understand what I mean. But it's what I say after that that's really important for those who are not connected with their dads or someone who's about to become a dad. So we're going to break that book down. We're going to talk about that. Be Undumpable is a book, is a relationship book. And I believe if we would generate a process of, one, loving ourselves, two, recognize the people who are in front of us, three, it will help us to have better relationships, which will help stop family dysfunction, which will break the cycle of what we've been going through the last 400 years or whatever they want to call the number. But we know for a fact that we need to make changes. So one of the ways we can do that, is have better relationships, to make better parents, to make better kids, so better kids can make better parents. That's the flow of it. I know sometimes it boggles my mind how we don't get that, because we need to be responsible for the people we bring into this world. And that should be called evolution. And we don't see that all the time. All right, so I spoke to two of my daughters, and I'm waiting on the rest of them to call now. I didn't make you for nothing. So I also want to give a shout out to my son, Paul Posey the second, not Junior. He's going to be on the show. He helped me grow by just modeling what I wanted him to be. And that changed my life. Because if you don't model for them, they don't get it. They have to get it someplace else. And that's not what you want. You have to be the person that's going to make sure that they get everything they need to be successful in life. So let me give a couple of shout outs to my people on there. Hey, James, what's going on? Thanks for joining in. And Eugene King. Man, I haven't seen you in a while. Let me see. You know, that's bad when you got to put on your glasses, right? Hold on a second. Lisa Lee, how are you? James. Hoorah. That's my buddy from the Marine Corps, Raymond Davis. Man, I haven't seen you either. But I appreciate you guys joining in. And I appreciate you sharing this feed so I can get as many people to watch and share and call in so we can talk about some things. So feel free to call in. I'm looking for a couple of phone calls, especially from my friend Shayna Vaughn, because, you know, we spoke about this almost 2 years ago, what I was going to do. And I'm at that point that what I said I was going to do, I'm doing. If anybody knows me, I'm driven. I'm super driven. And this cause for family, I'm super driven on that because I'm not perfect. And when I help other families, I'm helping my family. And I think it's very important that we take the time out and make sure we do our part. This is not going to be a religious channel. This is not going to be a political channel. Because those two things aren't the ones that talk to your kids. You talk to your kids every day. They're your responsibility. Not society, not schools, not the church, not your president, not your mayor. You're responsible. And those are things we need to work on. So let's talk about my other books. I wrote a book called When You Wake Up. And that's kind of why I'm here. When You Wake Up was me looking at myself and all the wreckage I've done and all the learning I could have. I often say that, when you have nothing to lose, you got everything to gain. And that's what I've been doing. And I just want to make sure that when I'm working with you on this, because I need you to call in, I need you to be here with me on the set so we can help other people grow and to be better than who they are, especially our veterans. The reason I say that is if you're out there and you have PTSD, it's ripping your family apart. And if you're refusing to get help, you're only hurting them. If you're using your medication every day because you don't want to cope, you're helping them. You need to help yourself. And that's really important because, hey, it's all about family. So if anybody out there right now, if you see my daughters and my son, Paul Posey, tell them to call in because I would hate to have to call them out on the show. So let's see who's out there. Hey, Sin, how you doing, Miss Riley? Antonio, Pascal, man, it's been years, but I appreciate you tuning into the show. Mr. Johnson, I see you watching. I appreciate you. As a matter of fact, you should check out Mr. Johnson, Joshua Johnson. He has his own show on Facebook. That guy's an awesome guy, and he shares some great information. So in my journey, I've networked with some people. I've been on some shows. Kevin Thornton, we're going to have him on the show. Franda Clay, I hope you'll be on my show. Stacy Bryan, I want you on my show. Melvin Morris, I want you on my show. These are people that have seen the light in myself and were willing to help me. And that help, I'm just going to grow with it. Next on what I want to do on the show, I want people to tell the truth. That's what I want. When I answer your questions, it's going to be about transparency. Hold on a second. We got a call in. Negative to Positive Show. This is Paul.
Hey, Paul. How are you?
I'm powerful.
This is LaVon.
Hey, LaVon. Uh-oh.
How you doing?
I'm doing outstanding, LaVon. How are you?
I just saw this on Facebook, and I said I had to call.
I know that's right. Did you say a prayer for me? Did you say a prayer for me?
I have.
I know you have, and it's probably working too.
All the progress that I'm seeing, yes.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, this is my friend LaVon Savage. She's out in Indianapolis, and she has a testimony, and she has a journey, and she has watched me in this journey for the last couple of years. Ain't that right, LaVon?
That's true. That's true, and with much progress that you have made.
And that's what friends are for. Because I couldn't have did it without you. I couldn't have did it. You was a part of my journey too, and I appreciate you. And I told you what I was going to do, and I'm doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
A television station of your own is the only thing that's next to go up, right?
I don't know what's next, but you know what? It'll come to me. I don't know what's next. It'll come to me, but for each step, I just got ready for it. So I got ready for it. So I don't know what my next move is, but I'm here and I'm ready.
So tell me, what is this talk show about?
It's about a little bit of everything. It's pretty much about sharing and communicating about change from where we are and to where we can be. And I just want to hit particular parts of it, like family and men stuff and kid stuff and growth and personal growth. Yeah, so I didn't want to be a one-trick pony and just talk about one thing. I wanted to share everything, because I remember when I wanted to write a book and I looked at this video on YouTube, and it says, I asked, should you write a book? And he said in the video that you should write a book because it'll live longer than you will. So if I do this, right, if I do this show, if I'm ever taken away from my kids, they'll know what dad wants and know what dad is capable of doing. Because I truly didn't know what I was capable of until probably about 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I believe part of change comes with changing our thought pattern of the way we think of other people. And that first part comes in with you accepting people for where they're at. If you're a Christian, if you're a holy roller, if you're a Buddhist, whatever it may be, you accept your family, especially your family members, because most of the time we have more problems with our family members for the mistakes that we have made. From the mistakes we have made, they still hold us. They try to hold us in prison. And as we begin to realize, okay, I've made these changes in my life, but they still think of me the same way, but can I love them differently than the way that I was projecting all that negativity?
Right. So if you can expel the negativity in it, you can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. If you start just letting them be, because you made the change, they'll see the change in you eventually. And then the change will come in them. Their negative stuff won't even affect you. And that begins with family. I have learned that with all of my family, from Gary, St. Louis, Chicago, Mississippi, Memphis. The change came with me, and then from me, accepting them for just where they're at.
There you go.
They're not gonna change their remarks. They're not gonna make drag, because I was the one with the problem. But if I start focusing on the negative with them, then I become the problem again, and then we can be able to project that in the community.
Absolutely. Thank you, LaVon. Thank you so much. All right.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy.
I'll talk to you later. I'm so proud of you.
All right, thank you. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
So change is kind of like this. When you want to change and everybody don't want to change, it's kind of like driving down the road. And you keep looking in the rearview mirror and you wonder why that person behind you, why that person behind you, why that person behind you. That used to happen to me all the time because I used to suffer from road rage. Why are they right behind me? So one day I decide I'm not going to look back. And I don't look back. And I just look forward. And you know what? I waited about 6 minutes later. They weren't even back there. Either I sped up or they got off my road. But the change I was headed to, it's a one-person journey. And you can just tell people about that journey. And if they want to change, they'll connect with you so they can do the same thing you did. I appreciate LaVon calling in. I really do. Hello, Miss Johnson. How you doing? April Gardner, how are you? Margie. Hey, Margie. Long time no see. So, back to what I was talking about. In this changes is it's nothing hard to it, but we have to all get into it at the same time. So here's what I think. Everybody's waiting on a new Martin Luther King. Everybody's waiting on a new Martin Luther King. My theory is, if we had a Martin Luther King in every home, then we would be unstoppable. We would be leading our families. We would be growing from inside the house. When LaVon said it rolls over into the community, that's what happens. Because you get your family in order, and the people next door get their family in order, and everybody in the neighborhood's in order. That community is in order. That's what we should be shooting for. So if we would just start at our homes, it would make a world of difference. So let's see who's out there. Anybody seen my son? Have Paul Posey give me a call. Hey, Sophia, how you doing? So let's see. Are you guys sharing this? Are you sharing this with your friends? Because this is my first day. This is my debut. I'm so excited. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty nervous. It took me 25 minutes to do my hair before I got here tonight. So, let's see. My next move. Business. No, let's talk about the most important thing. One of the most important things is getting help. Back in 2016, I started therapy. I started therapy for my PTSD and all the other things I've did in my life. Thank you for clicking likes, everybody. Please click likes so I can come back. Without likes, I can't come back. I had to start therapy because I knew right then and there I was not myself. It took a long time to figure out that I was in my own storm, and I started getting therapy, and that changed my life. If you don't want to get the help for you, get the help for somebody else. So someone asked me, why did I go to therapy? I went to therapy for my grandkids. Because I remember from veterans from the early 70s, when they came home, people pretty much locked them in rooms. Pretty much just put them on the wayside, and you didn't go visit them and you didn't go talk to them. But I have grandsons, and I don't want them to be afraid of me. I want them to love me like I love my grandfather. So in that, I had to just make sure that I put everything together in my life so there's no excuses not to get the love that I created. And that's what our kids are. Our kids are love that we created. And they're our foundation. So if you can't do what you need to do for them, thank you for the likes, everybody. If you can't do what you need to do for yourself, do it for your family, because they are your tomorrow. And we are tomorrow's history. And it is our job to make sure that our history is ready for us. The new norm is coming from the love that we give and the training. So who are we, right? If you're 50 years old, that's a half a century. And at a half a century, you've seen a lot of things, you've done a lot of things, and you should retain some of those things, to share some of those things that our kids can use to make their life easier. Did you hear me? Make their life easier. Not spoil them, not give them everything, but give them the lessons that you learn and some tools in their toolbox to help them to grow better, smarter, stronger than ourselves. That's it. I always say the only reason you make a child is to make something greater than yourself. That's where we kind of fail at, because we're so hurt in our own storms. We don't even care about our creation. Hey, Kim, call in because I want to talk to you. Mike Manuel, I tell you what, I must be doing something right, because some of my friends I haven't seen in years, they're just popping up out of the woodwork, and I appreciate you. Janae, call your brother. Tell your brother to call me. See, that's how you do it. Where's Taylor Posey? Oh, Taylor Posey at work? Okay. So I want to make sure that all my kids call me on the first day. That's how much I love them. Because Christmas is coming up, and they're going to want me to do some things. Michael Beamer. I am not 243. Oh, you meant the Marine Corps. I thought you said I was 243 years old. Thanks, Beamer. Hey, if you're ever up in Atlanta, I know you're down in Albany, make sure you stop by. Tyler Raines. So what was I talking about? Making something greater than yourself. And that's what we should be doing. So I know there's a lot of people who say right now that men aren't really pulling their parts, but there are a lot of programs out there that are really helping men right now, like Ed Womack. Hold on. Negative to Positive Show, this is Paul Posey.
Hey, Paul Posey, this is Kim Boy.
Hey, Kim. I'm glad you called. You know, hey, Kim, I wanted to thank you. I know I've thanked you before, but you really opened my eyes, and I appreciate you. So I just wanted to say that out to the world.
Well, thank you, Paul. Thank you, because you did the same for me. And I truly appreciate you sharing your wisdom with all of us who need it, so desperately need it. I think that is very big of you, and I am so proud that you're doing what you said that you're going to do, and in such a big way.
Well, I appreciate you. I don't know any other way to do it. I'm a GOAL digger. So,
well, I'm signing up for that as well.
Well, thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate you. So,
but you know what?
What's that?
What? I think that I really am happy that you're putting this information out there, because our families are our greatest wealth, and they're our biggest asset. And if we truly understand that and put action to those words, I think that we'll do better as an individual, we'll do better as family members, we'll do better as leaders, we'll do better in our communities if we just accept and grasp that concept.
Absolutely. I mean, we talk about it every day. People walk around telling us what's wrong with us every day, and we're not putting forth a conscious effort to do that on purpose, to change that. And I think that's where we fail at. And I think sometimes, especially when you talk to young men and you're telling them to be a great dad, but you haven't even defined what a great dad is, or give them an opportunity to see the success of a dad. So what do you expect from us, right?
And just like you're saying, we got to put some of that negative, turn that negative into positive. And I really appreciate what you're doing here. You are absolutely doing exactly what you said you're going to do, and you're doing it in a major way. You know, that's to be commended.
We're just getting started. We're just getting started.
Well, keep up the good work, Brother Paul.
Well, thank you so much, Kim. I'm glad I saw you online, and make sure you share with your friends. And I need to come to your town so we can have a great discussion with your friends. I still haven't forgot about that. All right.
Come on down. Love you, brother.
I love you too. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. See, I paid them to call in, but I got my money's worth, didn't I? No, that's my good friend, Kim Boyd. And I met a lot of people on my journey that were positive and powerful in their own right, and they shared something with me. My history with Kim Boyd, she called me one day and she told me about myself. No, actually, we were together and she told me about myself, something I didn't even know. People watch you, and you watch people. And if you see something great in somebody else, let them know. Let them know, because you often tell them the bad, but we don't capitalize on the good. So, Jay Williams, where you at? Javonna Williams, give your daddy a call. Jarvis, Dennis, what's going on with you? Are you guys clicking likes? Can I get some likes out there? Can you let me know you're sitting right there paying attention to me? Just click about 15, 16 likes per person. I appreciate it. That way I know that I'm on the right road, because I want to help you out. My whole purpose for the next 10 years, I said the next 10 years because in the next 10 years, I'm going to stop all this and I'm just going fishing. But I can't go fishing without making sure I did everything I could to make sure everybody's going to be okay. See, I'm a messenger. I'm not in charge of your destination. I've been given some words, some evidence, some truths, lived through some lies to come here and tell you that we can do better than what we're doing right now. I appreciate, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate you. Look at those likes. Can I play that game on the screen? There you go. So as a messenger, I'm not in charge of your destination. Your destination is where you're going to be. So if I'm talking to you and you don't absorb what I'm saying right now, let it just marinate in your head. Just like my friend Lamar Smith always says, of Vanilla Wisdom, he always says, let that marinate. Well, you can't let things marinate for weeks and months at a time. We can't keep thinking we're going forward, waiting on a negative stimuli to get us to go forward, like what just happened in the voting thing. We can't wait for stuff like that. We need to make change every day in our life to make it easier. And if it takes therapy, I recommend it. If it takes getting negative people out your life, I recommend it. If it means changing your relationship status, I recommend it. Speaking of that, I'm talking to my cousin, Fanny Stevens. Sometimes you have to change who you deal with to make your life better. And that's telling family the right thing. And that's what we need to do. Because here at Negative to Positive Show, It's going to be about sharing everything we can. There is no new dads. There's no new moms. There's no new grandparents. All of that was before you. You all have one. If you don't know what to do, you need to ask. And that's what we don't do. Making decisions without the research, making decisions without talking to someone who's either succeeded with it or failed with it, that's what causes problems. There's nothing new. There's nothing new. And we shouldn't live our lives like it is. There's no way you should fail in starting a business. There's no way you should fail buying a home. There's no way you should fail paying your rent. There's no way you should fail being a parent, because it's all out there. One of the things I hate the most is to hear somebody say, our parents did the best with what they had. You can't use that. That excuse is all used up. And if you're not a great parent right now, you have an opportunity every day to be a better parent. You have an opportunity to change those relationships in your life with your child so they can have a better life. That's important because you are in charge of tomorrow. So let me get a couple more shout outs. Frankie Swain, you're going to be on my show. Jarvis Dennis, I love the work you're doing down there. You're going to be on my show. Robert Benson, Rob, call in. Robert Benson, call in. I see you. Because you're going to be on my show. Give me a call, Robert. Let's talk about this for a minute. Because I got a couple of minutes left, and I'm going to give you some of that time. So if anybody's seen my son, Paul Posey, have him give me a call. All right. So we're almost out of time, but I just wanted to reiterate how important this negative to positive movement is. And it should be catchy. It should be, I don't know about a tattoo, but everybody should get a hat and a T-shirt like I got. I do have some for sale for $15. Please send me your size. Please send me your size and an address, and I'll get that out to you. My books, for those who don't know, that's a bestseller on Amazon. Why it's a bestseller? Because some of the information in there is some of the things we need. That's why it's a bestseller. This right here, this is your next bestseller. I Am My Own Dad. The purpose of that book is for every man who grew up without a dad. For every man who wish he had a dad, I want you to learn to be your own dad. That's how you fix them. You be the greatest dad you could possibly be. Speaking of great dads, my son Paul Posey is a dad, and he is an awesome dad, and I'm thoroughly impressed with him. I'm glad he's my son. So I want to give shouts out to Melvin Morris. Thank you for taking me under your wing. Huge shout out to Jerome Lynch, who showed me what hustle means, and I didn't have to take it personal. But, I learned that I'm a humble learner. And for those who don't know, I'm a professional photographer now. And Jerome has led me by my hand to make it happen. Hey, let me take this call. Negative to Positive Show. This is Paul Posey.
Hey, Paul. It's Rob. What's up?
Rob, how are you?
I'm good, man.
Robert, hey, what's that in the background? You got to turn it down in the background.
Okay. Okay, yeah, no, I was listening to your love there, and I was trying not to mess up the sound. How you doing, man?
I'm doing outstanding. Hey, everybody, this is Robert Benson, a former co-worker of mine, and the actual first show I was on was yours, Rob.
Yes, right. That's
Absolutely,
right.
And I appreciate you, and I want you to come to be on my show.
Absolutely, man. You can book me in anytime you want.
All right, that's my plan. So tell them what you do, Rob. What's your name to fame?
Well, actually, man, I'm a host myself, and enjoy getting positive information out to folks. And I don't want to steal your time or steal your thunder. I just wanted to call in and say wish you great luck, and I'm looking forward to being on there another time.
Thank you, Rob. We'll get together, and I'll make sure we book you. Okay?
All right, God bless you, Paul.
Thank you. All right. Hey, so looks like we're getting close to the time, but it's been powerful. So next time you'll see me will be November 21st, and my daughter Janice will be my co-host, and we're going to talk about dads and daughters. All right. Also, I want to give a shout out to Status Status Network. We have a mixer coming up on Sunday. Sunday, what time does it start? 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Status Network. So come out, meet everybody from Status Network. And if you feel like you have a show on you, come out and get your own show. If you feel a need to be on my show, there we go. Status Network Media Mixer. I appreciate you. From 3 to 6 p.m. on Sunday, I'll be there and I'll be taking some pictures. So, for those who don't know, my name is Paul Posey. I've been with you for maybe 50 minutes now. I've shared my agenda with you, my hopes, my dreams, my fears, my books. I'm a photographer. Watch me grow with me. That's what we should be doing here as human beings, as parents, as men. I don't say much about women because I'm not an expert on women, but I will have some women on here who are experts on women, and I don't want to overshoot anything so I can get those nasty phone calls like from my ex-wife. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to invite her onto the show. So Bree, if you're listening, if you're awake, I want you to be on my show sometime soon. Let me give a couple more shout outs to everybody who's on here. Roderick, I would like you to be on my show. I'm just going to call out some names of people I want to see on the show. Let's see. I would like my sister, who's going to be here. I would like my sister and my brothers to be on the show also. So however we can do it, because we're going to talk about family stuff. And some of this family stuff is going to hurt. It's going to make you cry. It's going to make you mad. It's going to make you shameful. But it's going to make you grow. And that's the purpose of negative to positive. So we can grow from a negative state that we have to a positive tomorrow. Is that my time? Because I think I'm out of time, and that's me. Till November 21st, that's when you'll see me again. The Negative to Positive Show. It's going to be fun, it's going to be funny, it's going to be real. So get your questions ready. Inbox me your questions and your topics. And no matter how tough it is, or no matter how much it hurts, we're going to talk about it here on Negative to Positive, the Negative to Positive Show. So anybody, Jay, I'm waiting on them kids to call. No? Okay. How we doing on time? We're good. Okay. All right. So so let me sign off by saying this. We're only going to get where we're going by being together. And it's going to take everybody to do it. From the homeless people to the people in the homes to the people, everybody you run into. We're going to do this. We're going to do it the right way. So I love you. I love my kids. I love who I am. I love everybody. Thanks.